Welcome to the high school edition of Football Friday, brought to you in part by Josh Houston and Associates, one source, one company. By the Metro Nashville Police Department. Apply today at mnpd.com. By Southern Trophy House. Visit their showroom at 2705 Nolensville Pike. And by Star Physical Therapy, committed to serve. Now let's head to the gridiron with George Plaster and Billy Derrick, a high school edition of Football Friday.
And we welcome all of you in to what is a raucous Father Ryan High School, the center of the arts, and another edition of Football Friday. Got a lot to cover today, but this is a school that has always had great spirit. It birthed young Billy Derrick, Father Ryan grad. Billy, how are you?
I'm good, George. How you doing?
The kids booed you earlier. That had to be a little shocking.
Only because you told them. They wouldn't have booed me.
I did tell them to. So is there any spirit at this school at all?
George, there's no other place like Father Ryan. No other school does it like the Irish, and they've got their bitter rival in town tonight. So I think it's going to be a really, really special night.
What's the deal? They rented out Deion Sanders from Colorado?
Yeah, the Coach Prime is in Nashville tonight, and before he heads down to Colorado tomorrow.
So there actually is a Coach Deion Sanders at Father Ryan.
Yes.
And I'm told he's going to lead a cheer to let everybody know that this place got a little spirit, going to have 4,000 or 5,000 people here tonight as they try to knock down a little Berlin Wall. Coach Prime, take it away.
It's not too bad right there.
No, that was pretty good. That was excellent. So, without brown nosing, can you give your head coach a little applause? Coach, get that mic a little bit closer. Let's say hello to Coach Rector. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having us here. This is a great event and appreciate you guys being on our campus.
Oh, listen, we're thrilled to be here and we appreciate all the cooperation we've gotten, starting with Ann Mullins and working down the staff. They've been terrific, all the way down to purple table covers.
That's right, baby. That's right. Spare no expense, right, George?
So let's talk a little bit about tonight. I know there are coaches out there who will say it never got discussed, but you all are trying to knock down a Berlin Wall tonight. Father Ryan has not beaten MBA in 26 years. Have you talked about it?
Well, the direct answer is yes, and I think that record it's been around for about as long as the Berlin Wall was around, actually, as a matter of fact, and being a history teacher, I had to throw that out there. But no, when we meet on the first thing on Mondays, Monday afternoons, we just put everything out there, whatever the stats are, whatever the records are, whatever the buzz is, et cetera, in or around our campus or around town. We put it all out there so that we don't have to act like, there's the elephant in the room sort of thing. We just don't operate that way. And so we've talked about it, and now's as good a chance of any to put that thing to rest.
Was it the same way a week ago when you all tacked on a huge number against Brentwood Academy?
Well, it's the same in terms of we had a monumental game to play. Of course, the themes and everything else like that were different. But everything that we're doing, especially last week and now this week, is absolutely geared towards us believing that we can be a good football team, that we are a good football team, and that 2023 is time for us to do what we're capable of doing. And everybody on our schedule, we just kind of need to have that exact same approach with, but the themes and the, accoutrements, the sort of the peripheral information that goes along with each game will be different.
Accoutrements.
That's right, baby.
Big word.
That's right. I'm not just a football coach.
No,
man.
that was a little big for this show. So when you took this over, you all were not in a position to do the kind of things that you're doing right now. Talk to me about the build-up process, and was there a moment where you, quote, got over the hump?
Well, I think that's probably still a work in progress in terms of getting over the hump. But yes, I mean, it's obviously getting to this type of energy and having the type of wins that, that we were able to get, lucky enough to get last week and worked hard enough to get last week. They just really, not too many of those have happened since I've been here. And this is my 8th season. It has taken longer than any coach would like. But we've tried to do it the right way. And we've tried to do things to our standards and in our process and procedures. And we just have, such a great group of young men and such a great group of coaches that it feels like it is all coming together.
But there's also a history in the past. Watch what happens here. When I was at BGA, yeah, same to you. When I was at BGA, Father Ryan under Boots Donnelly was the gold standard. Mike Wright had led them to a state title. They were playing their home games at West End Junior High, and under Boots, they had something like a 30-game winning streak that, oh, by the way, we snapped. But they were the gold standard. And I'm kind of curious, have you talked to any of the people back then about how did they get there? Obviously, the landscape's different, but was there much of that?
Oh yes, for sure. And of course, this week I've received lots of great emails and texts from people like that, that really care about the history of Father Ryan. That's been really special to me as a head coach. That was a while back, and sometimes we have talked about, of course, being in the rearview mirror, and that applies to us quite a bit on this campus. We look back to 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Well, things have changed drastically since then in the landscape of high school football. We talk about not looking back to, say, even last week, because if you look in the rearview mirror, you kind of get caught up and maybe mess up what's happening right now in the present. So we are very aware of the history of Father Ryan. The recent history in football success has not been there. There's no denying that either. And we are very much looking forward to getting back on track, and everybody associated with this school, doesn't matter whether it's from the 50s, the 60s, 70s, 80s. Right now, we want them to be very, very proud of what we are doing, and will hopefully continue to do.
What's obviously there's a lot of success that's been going on. What's I don't know if the word is ceiling, but how far can you take this?
Well, all we're going to do is go week to week. So I'm not going to get caught up in any kind of, prediction or, Nostradamus type stuff here. All we're going to do is try to go 1-0 tonight. And then next week, we're going to try to do the exact same thing. And wherever this takes us is where it was meant to be. And so we're excited about that process.
So if it happens, because obviously Brentwood Academy that's a big one to knock off. NBA would be a big one to knock off. How hard is it on the high school level to get kids this age by Monday to say, screw all of that, we got another game to play?
It's tough. It's tough. It is. It's tough. But this is a very mature group. And at the end of the day, they're not stupid. They understand that, look, if you get caught up by Monday and Tuesday of wondering what happened in the past, whether it was 6 days ago, 5 days ago, or 3 days ago, you find yourself stumbling, and you don't want to do that. And so I've really appreciated their buy-in to the process and being focused. And that is actually one of our themes this week is we've got to focus so that we can, make sure we keep this thing going.
Are you aware that some of your players are going to ask you questions?
I've been told. I'm a bit on edge. I'm a bit frightened over here. Should I be scared, George?
Well, I don't know. I mean, let me say this. If one of them says, hey, why am I not getting more playing time? I want you to just go ahead and tell him.
Oh, no problem. If they can handle the public shame, that's no problem.
So let's see what happens. Okay. who's up first in the questions to the coach, look into that camera and let them know who you are, loud and proud. Get that microphone close so we can hear you.
I'm Makai Collins. I'm a senior. I'm number 55. I play defensive tackle for Father Ryan.
In case anybody wants to know, 55 in your program, number 1 in your hearts.
So, Coach Deion Sanders can be seen walking around campus with a championship belt. If you could pick one member of your coaching staff as a tag team partner, who would it be and why?
Oh, a tag team. Is this a boxing match? Are we making a boxing reference this week? Is that what we're doing?
Wow.
Or is it a wrestling match? I don't know. What should we? Wrestling? Okay, We'll go with wrestling since it's tag team partner. I don't know. All right, I went there. That's an inside joke for all you fans outside. But anyway,
help us a little.
Well, let's just say we boxing is my favorite sports here at Father Ryan, apparently. So, okay, so all right, a tag team wrestling match. There are so many really good candidates for that on the staff. Me not being one of them, although I'm a massive wrestling fan. Okay, growing up, it was no doubt. I love that stuff every Saturday, and then as a young coach in the '90s, every Monday, I would be like locked in to Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock doing their thing on Monday Night Raw. I loved it.
Did anybody ever tell you it was fake?
Well, I didn't. Early on when I was a kid, when they said that, there were some issues with that at school when that happened. But listen, I was younger and more immature. But there's no question in my mind that if I'm picking a tag team partner at this point in time, and I think everybody in the room probably knows, might have to go with Coach Turley. I think, Pat Simpson is a legend in the wrestling ring, okay? But if I've got to still pick a partner, I'm going with the 6'6", 315-pound guy. So there you go.
Okay, who's next with questions for Coach Rector?
I'm Max Kidd. I'm a senior. I'm 74. I play left tackle.
So we don't want to screw with you because you look like you could handle it.
Right. All right, Coach. The team has started a new tradition after the third quarter with the Pride Jackson jump around. The fans have loved it. What was the inspiration in starting the tradition?
That's a great question. Man, there was a lot actually that went into this. So at the end of the third quarter, we do the cheer that you just saw with, Coach Sanders kind of leads it. And then we play a song from House of Pain, Jump Around. We'll play the first 40 seconds of it. You can't go beyond that. And so, all right, the inspiration for that, lots of different things. First and foremost, Coach Copley, our OC and strength and conditioning coordinator, had the kids doing a cheer up kind of thing before we start the fourth quarter of our weight routine. So we kind of have been emphasizing fourth quarter all year long. Eventually, we kind of developed a theme with the kiddos about having pride again in Father Ryan football. So we've been emphasizing pride all off season. So that's where we incorporated the PRIDE, Pride Jacks. And then the last thing is some of us, myself included, saw a special on ESPN about how they do jump around in Wisconsin at the end of the third, before the fourth. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And I brought it to the kids, and they loved it. And so they were like, hey, we love it. But so every bit of it was run through the kids, how to do it, when to do it, and everything else like that. So it was more of a conglomeration. But that's a great one because I think that thing's pretty cool.
It's amazing if you look all over the country how many schools are doing something at the end of the third quarter. It's pretty cool. What's the Viking thing, Billy, that they do?
It's the
what is the?
I think it's like this.
Okay, can y'all do that? Wow, nice. And you got the purple for the Vikings. Okay, who's next for Coach Rector?
My name is Jacob Wallace. I'm a senior. I'm number 61, and I play center. And
So we don't need to screw with you either.
Nah.
Okay.
And my question for you as coach is, what are some things you saw on this team in early summer practices that have carried over to the season?
Oh, man. Where do I start? That's a good question. Okay, so early summer practices. Maybe I would just say early off-season practices. How about that? Because it's really been since the end of November. We had coach meetings with every single player, and every single player did a great job of talking and being honest and talking about what they would like to see different, because we didn't have a lot of success last year. And so we just kind of asked them, hey, what were your general thoughts? Their honesty and their leadership has been amazing this entire off season. If we speak specifically about the summer, I just think their attention to detail has been fantastic and holding each other accountable. Somebody's not doing something right or out of standard. You know, in the past, we may have to, as coaches, go a little bit nuts, but we really don't have to anymore. We might be like in the middle of getting it out of our mouths, and somebody else has already taken care of it. And so I see them being great overall leaders as opposed to coaches being the leaders.
See, I can see my parents in that meeting saying, listen, coach, who's kidding who? Our son can't play.
Those were player-only meetings, George, so no parents, thank goodness.
He
on
can
that
announce, but he can't play. Who's next?
I'm Sanjeeth George. I'm a senior, number 43, and I play outside linebacker.
Are you any good?
I think so.
Come on, George.
I think so. It's late at night. You're driving home after a big win. What's your late night food choice?
Well, okay. Well, listen, there's no question about this. There's a difference between what I want and what I get, okay? What I want, all right, are buffalo wings, and I want them hot, all right? And just for the record, there's no such thing as boneless wings. We need legislation to make sure that is ripped from our language, okay? Right. All you chicken nugget lovers out there, all you chicken tender guys out there, come on. No, so I want the buffalo wings, but usually what I'll get is something easier like pizza.
No DQ Blizzard?
No, it's late. They're closed, man.
My God,
They're
the
closed.
cookies and see, if you sold this right, we could have gotten a sponsorship out of it.
Well, I usually have Domino's waiting for me at home. How about that?
Well, we'll work on that.
All right.
Who's next? Okay, now there
Here we
appears
go.
to be, hold on, there appears to be
What's all that about?
whoever you are, before you get up there seems to be some anticipation.
Yeah, I'm a little worried myself.
Yeah. You want to tell us why there's anticipation?
That's all right. I'm okay.
Yeah. Great.
All right. My name's Henry Breuner, number 13, and I play safety. So, Coach, the jungle student section has been packed this year. How does the team feed off that energy?
Yeah, man, great question. Actually, a leadership group of kids of all shapes, sizes, and years has actually met with the kids in the school about the certain things they would like to see in the jungle or the student section this past off season. And they connect with us and them on a regular basis for how to make things better and how to improve it. I just think that the interaction has been cool. So the kids will do the projects and they'll go over to the student section or near it anyway to do that. And they should never, ever leave the sidelines to go do the project cheer ever. Okay. That happened one time.
That's a
this year.
problem.
It's a problem. Yeah, it was a problem.
Where was the get back coach?
Yeah. Coach Sanders kind of, he wasn't around on that one. I don't know what his problem was on that one.
Wow.
We definitely blame Coach Sanders on that one.
He was at Colorado State.
He was out to lunch on that night. But so I think that their engagement in what's going on with the cheers, the chants, the music, the whole 9 yards has been really great. And I think the students have appreciated the input from the players, and the players have appreciated the students wanting to be involved.
Let's see. Good luck tonight. Thank you for the terrific hospitality. You got some great kids on this team. They've all been forced to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
That's right.
So what I want you to do is make sure that by 6 o'clock, none of them unsubscribe.
Will do.
I think I'll
Will
be
do.
watching film, George, instead of our YouTube.
Hey,
I'll send that out in the morning.
good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Coach, thank you. Yeah. Hold on.
There's some work to do.
Hold on. That was pathetic.
That was pretty weak.
They were a little slow on that watch.
A little
Let's
slow.
see if they learn quick. Coach, thanks for being with us.
Appreciate you.
Oh, I love it. Now, wait a minute. I thought I heard a Let's Go Ryan. Somebody lead that? I thought I heard in the back a Let's Go Ryan. Okay, whatever.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, we'll go to the break, and when we come back, we'll have our Metro Nashville Police Department talk. Officer Larry Williams is with us. He will join us next.
Convenience and value, two words that we expect when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to deliver just that, both to our school partners and to our customers. Whether you're purchasing photos, yearbooks, class jewelry, letter jackets, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience easy, convenient, and cost-effective. Find out more at jhacompany.com or call 615-867-6345 for more information. JHA, one source, one company.
All right, I'm here with my buddy Chip Ward from Lincoln Home Loans. And Chip, it's football season, and it feels like it's moving season every time of the year, especially here in Nashville. Tell us about your business, Chip, and kind of introduce people to who you are and what you do here in the Nashville area.
Well, you're exactly right, Billy. It is definitely moving season, as it is most times, especially right here after Labor Day. Kids are back in school, and people are starting to think they want to get settled in before the holidays. And so what we are doing is right now we are getting a lot of people pre-approved for home loans. Inventory has ticked up a little bit. You know, it has been down, but it's rebounding a little bit. And right now is a good time to buy.
Chip, real quick before I let you go, tell people how they can reach you. And if someone is interested in your business, how would they reach out to you?
Well, sure. At Lincoln Home Loans, you can reach me at 615-500-7579. My URL for my application page is chipward.net, and my email address is simply chip@chipward.net. And so I'd love to hear from anybody. I can answer any questions about the whole home buying and financing process.
Star Physical Therapy was established in 1997 with one great mission: to serve. If you're hurting, don't wait to receive physical therapy. You don't need a referral to see their physical therapist, and early morning and evening appointments are available. Make the call to 615-673-1420 and get rid of that pain. Star Physical Therapy, the official health provider of Football Friday. Okay, they are ready. We are at Father Ryan High School.
You're good.
In the Center for the Arts. We heard a little announcement come over the speaker. Was it get rid of those people on that show?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So Officer Larry Williams is with us. You all may applaud.
Ole, 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 ole.
So the Metro Nashville Police Department has been a sponsor of this show. And one of the things that you all have started to do, you have a department, essentially a group that recruits. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yes, sir, George. Thank you so much for having us on the show today, Father Ryan. Thank you so much for opening your beautiful campus to us. Under the leadership of our Chief John Drake, he has put together a recruitment team. And what we do, we go out, we travel the United States, we travel Nashville, Tennessee, all states. And what we do, we go to different colleges, universities, high schools, career fairs. Why? Thanks for asking. To recruit people to join our department. All right. Nashville is a very diverse city. We want our department to mirror the diversity of the city. And that's why we were put together. And that's why we're here today. And that's why we travel around with George and this beautiful show weekly.
So when these groups hear 30 for 30, they're thinking about things like Jim Valvano's run to the national title in '83, or they're thinking about the 30 for 30 with the draft class of '83, or any number of the 30 for 30s that ESPN does are awesome. Talk about your 30 for 30.
Thank you, George. Well, our 30 for 30 is our leadership and administration of this department realize that law enforcement, especially policing, in the year 2023 is no longer a male-dominated profession. If you look around, there are a lot of women in education, all fields of life, but they are also joining the ranks of law enforcement in our department. And there's a vision of our deputy chief, my supervisor, Chief Rector, Chief John Drake. There's a vision of them for our department to be 30% female officers by the year 2030.
30 for 30.
30 for 30. So
Not
the
Jim
year is-
Valvano.
Nope, 30 for 30, Metropolitan Nashville Police Department. So we just, we're getting there. 2023 approaching 2024. So we've got 6 years to reach that goal. I think that's a goal that we can reach. So to all the females out there, this is no longer a male-dominated profession. So we welcome you to join our ranks and department.
Okay, let me ask this question.
Yes, sir.
There are people out there, hopefully there's one or two in the audience that says, you know, talking sports for a living wouldn't be all bad. And y'all would be right. I've been very blessed for a long, long time that's been my job. Not exactly curing cancer, but it's been a ton of fun.
Because you can't play ball, right?
Well, yeah. But
He said Georgia said he had a nice baby hook shot on the basketball court, though.
Okay.
Billy, when we need your help on that, we'll ask for it. By the way, you want them to boo you again?
No, I don't think they'll do that again.
Oh, I think they would. Let's see.
No, boo George. He went to BGA.
Wow. It's a nasty audience. See if we ever come back here again. No, seriously, there's probably somebody in this audience, maybe several, who have at some point thought about law enforcement.
Okay.
First of all, if they have, how do they kind of get started in the process of learning a little more than just, you know, wondering what's it really like?
Good question, George. First of all, there has been several people who are alumni of Father Ryan who currently work on our department and who have retired from our department. Quite a few, actually. So several have sat in these shoes and all of them have played football. So what you would do, if this is something that you think you might want to do, go to our website, www.joinmnpd.com. You'll find plenty of information there about the qualifications, the training, the entrance training exam, all of that. One thing about law enforcement and a police department this size, people think that I have to go to college and major in criminal justice to join the police department. You don't. Psychology, social work, make great police officers. So just some of those things, I always recommend people to go to school, but we do recognize that college isn't for everyone. So you do not have to attend college to be a member of our police department. So we would just want you to have 3 years of 3 years of work experience. That gets you from 18 to 21, or 2 years military active duty, or 60 college credit hours.
Okay,
Yes,
beautiful. First of all, thank you for being here. And secondly, if any of you would like to talk to Officer Williams during the next commercial break, feel free to do that. He'll be over here for a few minutes.
All right. Thank you for having us, George.
Thank you.
Father Ryan. Y'all get that tonight.
Okay, next up, we bring George Robinson from the Tennessean, who covers you guys and a lot of other high schools in the area. George, how are you?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine, and it's nice to see you on the link and see your face as well. So tell me this. Last week, Father Ryan put up a gaudy number on Brentwood Academy.
Yeah.
And what I am hearing is that this has not sat well at all at BA. What is the future of that coaching staff if this continues?
Well, it's a good question. I honestly don't know. I know that the fact that Father Ryan pretty much had a running clock on BA in that second half. That's not going to sit well with any coaching staff. To be able to do that against a talented team like BA speaks volumes to what, Father Ryan's been able to do this year. And they've just been incredible this year as well. Their quarterback, JoJo Crump has, played lights out. I think he had over 200 yards passing, had about 177 yards rushing, had 7 total touchdowns last week. So yeah, I mean, that was probably for BA's standards defensively, particularly. That was embarrassing for them, I'm sure. Coach Jacob Gill is a defensive-minded coach. He came from a private school in Arkansas as the defensive coordinator over there. And so I know he prides himself in being able to play some defense. That just wasn't the case last week against Father Ryan. And so, that's like you said, it's a good question. I know that they're not happy with that performance. I know that coaching staff has probably been under some heat, this year with the start that BA's had. It doesn't get any easier for them. They have Macaulay tonight. That's going to be nationally televised on ESPNU. They got to figure out some things pretty quickly. Macaulay's a good team. They're a good defensive team. They're going to make life difficult for Brentwood Academy and George McIntyre. And, we've been saying it probably for the past few weeks that these are must wins for Brentwood Academy. But, now you're talking region play. They absolutely are must wins. So.
George, let's get to our games of the week now. We start with Ensworth and Lipscomb Academy. That game is tonight. Ensworth 4-0. They're coming off a big win over Knoxville Catholic. Lipscomb 1-3. They lost their quarterback Deuce Knight. They lost a tight one last week to Baylor and Chattanooga. What do you see in this one tonight? Can Lipscomb get back on track?
I think they can. I like Ensworth. I like what they've done this year. They played really well. I do think that Lipscomb Academy has probably played the toughest schedule in Middle Tennessee to date. They played IMG Academy. They played Saraland, Alabama. That's a really good team. They played Baylor, who's the number 1 ranked team or number 2 ranked team in our Super 25 poll. So they've, Lipscomb Academy has just run the gauntlet in the past, 4 weeks of the first 4 weeks of the high school football season. But like I said, I like Ensworth. I just think that I think Lipscomb Academy's, the fact that they've been put through the test so much, during this early portion of the season, I think they pull out this win. Like you said, they kind of went through some distractions last week with the Deuce Knight situation and his departure, and they're having to face one of the top high school football players in the state in Amari Jefferson last week, the wide receiver from Baylor, who's an Alabama commit. They still only lost by 3 points. I mean, it was 34-31. So I do think Lipscomb, beats Ensworth tonight. I think maybe that helps them kind of turn the corner, on this program.
All right, next one on the list. We already talked about Macaulay, actually. Let's go to Siegel and Hendersonville. Siegel 4-0. They're led by quarterback Thomas Santel, coming off a big win over Coffee County. Hendersonville's also 3-1. They won 61-0 last week over Hunter's Lane. What are you thinking in this one, Siegel, Hendersonville tonight?
Two very good teams, a good matchup. I think, this is going to be one of the tougher games that Siegel's had to play. Hendersonville has a really good defense. The Brentwood game a couple of weeks ago, in which Brentwood handled them pretty easily. I think that might have been a little bit of a, that was one of those games where you just had to, for Hendersonville, you just had to kind of throw away. I don't think that they typically play like that defensively, or at least they haven't this year. But Siegel is Siegel's a team that has some really good players on it. Terry Grant is what, is the first player that kind of comes to mind when I think about Siegel, and so I think this is going to be a tough matchup. I kind of give the edge to Siegel, even though they're on the road in this game. I just feel like I feel like it's going to be a close battle, but I do feel like Siegel, pulls this one out.
All right, last one real quick here, George. Give us a pick. Green Hill at Lebanon. Both teams obviously with a hot start. Green Hill 4-0, Lebanon 3-1. Who's your pick here?
Right, and these are these are two region. This is a region matchup. Green Hill offensively has just been playing really well. I think they're averaging around 37 points a game. They play really well in September. I think they're 9-1 in September since 2021. And this is only a 4-year program, and they've already been to the playoffs, on multiple occasions. So I do think Green Hill pulls this out again in a close one.
All right, last one here, George. Father Ryan, NBA, who you got?
Yeah, NBA has been struggling. Everybody knows that. Father Ryan has, we talked about them and how well they've been playing. I think Father Ryan, wins this pretty handily. And unfortunately for NBA, it doesn't get any easier with their schedule. But Father Ryan, man, I'm just so impressed with what they've been able to do this year. That getting ready to hit the midway point of the season, they just have been they've just been lights out. I think everybody's been impressed with how well Father Ryan has played so far.
George, I saw a couple of these players subscribe to the Tennessean about 30 seconds ago. So apparently you did something good on that. Thank you, as always, for the visit.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
George Robinson from the Tennessean joining us.
There you go, getting better.
Wow. So, Billy, in the games that are around the Middle Tennessee area tonight, we've picked out 4 players you have to watch. And you all notice the audio-visual skills up here. Really impressive.
Yeah, and I told Coach Rector, let them stay for another 5 minutes. We're going to be talking about one of their players. So appreciate Coach letting them stay. But we'll start with Thomas Santel from Siegel. Thomas has really lit it up this year. Last week, 11 of 18 for 183 yards and 2 touchdowns against Coffee County. In the opener, he had 500 yards in that opener. They got Hendersonville tonight, so Thomas Santel is definitely a player to watch. Up next, Ensworth defensive lineman Ethan Utley. He is 6'4", 270 pounds.
Hold on a second. If y'all are going to boo, do it right. What's the kid's name?
From Ensworth, Ethan Utley. He's a big kid, 6'4", 270. He's 4 stars, got offers from everybody, and Ensworth is 4-0. So I think Father Ryan plays Ensworth later this season, correct? So
yeah, they won't get the sportsmanship award out of that one.
That'll be one to watch.
Who's next?
Green Hill quarterback Cannon Burrows.
Y'all got anything against him?
They don't play him, so that's good. He threw 4 touchdowns last week, 13 of 24 for 231 yards. Big win. They've got Lebanon tonight, so that should be a good one. And lastly, Charlie Becker. Charlie Becker is committed to Indiana, 13 catches on the season, 205 yards, 6 touchdowns. He's 6'3", 185 pounds, George, big and athletic.
Where is he? Stand up. Nice.
So Charlie Becker. And, George, this offense is legit. The defense has performed well. JoJo Crump has been phenomenal as well. Defensively, Catlin Hagan, Alan Bryan. I mean, this defense has come to play. Mackay, who asked a question. It's been a blast to watch this team this year. And there's more guys other than just the offense with JoJo and Charlie. So fired up for this one tonight.
Indiana Hoosier.
Yep, Coach Tom Allen.
You're going to walk on, play hoops for Bobby Knight? Oh, wait a minute.
He's a track star as well.
Do they have track at Indiana? They do. Okay. That was good to know.
Yeah,
that's something I didn't know. I didn't know a lot about Indiana track going in.
Well, Indiana football is better with him, so that'll be fun to watch him. But George, those are your players to watch.
Oh, and let's let the Ensworth kid hear it again. Wow.
And George,
they'll probably pull that tape when y'all play them, and that'll end up on some bulletin board somewhere. Brian Rector's over there going, they're never coming back to this campus. Okay, so later in the show, Coach Herm Edwards will join us at 3:20, and we'll get into Aaron Rodgers' situation out for the year with JETS. We'll talk about Josh Allen. Got a lot of things that will happen in the 3 o'clock hour. A tale of the tape of the Titans home opener Sunday against the LA Chargers. But first, we go to the break, and then when we come back, it will be the Star Physical Therapy Health Moment. So stick around. We're coming back. Star Physical Therapy was established in 1997 with one great mission: to serve. If you're hurting, don't wait to receive physical therapy. You don't need a referral to see their physical therapist, and early morning and evening appointments are available. Make the call to 615-673-1420 and get rid of that pain. Star Physical Therapy, the official health provider of Football Friday.
All right, I'm here with my buddy Chip Ward from Lincoln Home Loans. And Chip, it's football season, and it's also, it feels like it's moving season every time of the year, especially here in Nashville. Tell us about your business, Chip, and kind of introduce people to who you are and what you do here in the Nashville area.
Well, you're exactly right, Billy. It is definitely moving season, as it is most times, especially right here after Labor Day. Kids are back in school, and people are starting to think they want to get settled in before the holidays. And so what we are doing is right now we are getting a lot of people pre-approved for home loans. Inventory has ticked up a little bit. You know, it has been down, but it's rebounding a little bit. And right now is a good time to buy.
Chip, real quick before I let you go, tell people how they can reach you. And if someone is interested in your business, how would they reach out to you?
Well, sure. At Lincoln Home Loans, you can reach me at 615-500-7579. My URL for my application page is chipward.net, and my email address is simply chip@chipward.net. And so I'd love to hear from anybody. I can answer any questions about the whole home buying and financing process.
Convenience and value, 2 words that we expect when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to deliver just that, both to our school partners and to our customers. Whether you're purchasing photos, yearbooks, class jewelry, letter jackets, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience easy, convenient, and cost-effective. Find out more at jhacompany.com or call 615-867-6345 for more information. JHA, one source, one company.
We are back here on Football Friday from the Center of the Arts at Father Ryan on their beautiful campus. They play NBA tonight. Their athletic trainer, Jonathan Griffith, joins us here at our broadcast site, and we're going to start with lightning. And I know the TSSAA has a policy, and I'm looking forward to hearing all of the ins and outs of it. But good golly, anytime you get a low-pressure system on the East Coast, half of college football got affected last week. It was crazy.
Oh, it was terrible last week. It felt like every game I tried to watch was on at least a 2-hour delay. But yes, you're right. So the TSSAA has a lightning policy. They adopted it from the NFHS, which is the National Federation of High Schools. And basically what it says is if there's lightning anywhere within 10 miles of where we're playing, we're shut down for at least 30 minutes. And where you get to a 2-hour delay, every additional strike resets that timer.
So, first of all, this is a good rule, but it really frustrates people when they look around and they're like, we haven't seen anything for 20 minutes. Why are we sitting here doing nothing? And that's sort of the flip side of it.
Exactly. The worst part of my week every week is on a bright sunny day having to walk out and tell Coach Rector, hey, we're inside. There's lightning 9 miles away. Can't do anything. But our team doctor, Dr. Pignani, he has this saying, discretion is the better part of valor, right? So even the best weatherman is only accurate 60% of the time. There could be a pop-up storm coming any second. So if we know there's lightning nearby, it's always just safer to go inside.
It used to be Robert Jemison, who was here at Father Ryan for a long time, had one of these little gizmos. It was like a lightning meter. I'm guessing it's gotten a little more sophisticated, but talk to me about that.
Yes, sir. Luckily, now we have apps on all our phones, right? We use a system called Weather Sentry, and they have radars all throughout Davidson County that pinpoint Father Ryan's campus and tell us anytime there's a lightning strike anywhere around us, and it can go up to 100 miles. So we just have an app on our phones, and we get a little text message that tells us exactly where it is and exactly how long we can stay outside.
So do you ever have one that is so iffy you're not sure?
Yes, and if you read the TSSAA policy, it even includes a provision if you can see lightning at night. Well, it could be far enough away. It's just a clear night. You're seeing lightning further off. It gives us the discretion to use the app and determine how far the system is away, how much longer we can stay outside, and what's safe. So we do have some say, but it's not a fun job.
Jonathan, I appreciate you taking the time again. Tonight, it looks like it'll be cloudy, no rain, hopefully no lightning. Yeah,
hopefully.
Yeah, knock on wood.
Yep.
What is your advice if it were to have happened tonight? What do people need to be prepared for when it does happen? Who do they need to listen to? Where do they go? I'm sure there would be a PA announcement, but just kind of background info. What would you say to fans and even players for tonight?
So the safest place is always indoors, right? Just seek shelter in a timely manner. We usually tell you in plenty of time, right? That's the whole point of having a 10-mile radius. You have tons of time to get inside. So just take your time, find some shelter inside somewhere, and hang out until we can get back outside.
It helps you guys in your job if there's no lightning too. I mean,
correct.
It's, well, let me ask this. Is there a curfew in this state as far as how far you can take it? And here's why I'm asking it. Years ago, I was part of a 2-man committee to keep the Clinic Bowl alive with the late Rick Region. And I made Rick promise me that my school would host the Clinic Bowl once, and we did. The problem was with 2 different 1-hour lightning strike, take them off the field deals, we didn't conclude until about 12:15 on what at that time was Sunday morning. Is there any kind of curfew kind of stuff?
George, you're putting me on the spot here. I believe it's up to the officials at the game and the school administrators present. So in most cases, as long as you can resume the game before midnight, they'll let you finish the game, no problem. It's where you get into, well, maybe we can go outside, but we're going to have to come right back in. That's when they talk about potentially finishing the game on a different day or postponing the game altogether. But usually just up to the officials and school administrators.
Which brings a whole different set of problems, because it's almost like you're having to start the warm-up process of the players almost all over. So talk to me about that.
Yeah, when we have situations like this, we just focus on getting the players plenty to drink, trying to find them something to eat, and just keeping them engaged, keeping the energy up, and just getting them ready and focused to go back out and play. We don't know if it's going to be 30 minutes. We don't know if it's going to be 3 hours. We're just trying to keep everybody present in the moment and ready to go back out.
Not easy, is it?
No, but it's always fun. I'll tell you that much.
Anything else you want to leave us with?
That's it. Thanks for having me.
No,
thank you.
Thanks,
thank you for coming over here. The folks at Star Physical Therapy sponsor this health moment. In this case, health with the outdoors and lightning and all that kind of stuff. Kelly Ziegler and that crew have been terrific for us.
Glad to hear it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Jonathan Griffith. Oh, I didn't say that very well. Jonathan Griffith. Try saying that 3 times. Joining us here on the show. So, Billy, we normally close out each week with a player of the week. And normally you are the one to do that. And I suspected foul play early. It would be like me saying, okay, kid from BGA is the player of the week. Well, Billy went kid from Father Ryan, player of the week. But I think he's got some stats that'll back it up.
I'm trying to get Ty to move the camera back so the camera would see me. George,
Why
JoJo,
would we want that?
Oh, I mean, a little bit better seeing me, I think.
Yeah, welcome back to your school.
No, JoJo Crump. I had to give it to JoJo. Obviously, quarterbacks have won this weekly award a lot, but JoJo had to get it. I think he said 7 touchdowns. Last week against BA. No, this one.
Oh,
George.
this one. Oh.
That's why George is not the producer.
So a little jealous.
A little bit this way.
Yeah, a little jealous.
There we go.
The lack of airtime. Wow.
No, but JoJo Crump, George, is our player of the week, and he will get that plaque, and we're looking forward to that. So, I mean, phenomenal. I had it in my notes. You mentioned 7 touchdowns. That's enough, in his own right to be the player of the week for last week.
So I know I've missed some names. Ann Mullins was the first person that I reached out to a couple of weeks ago, but there's some others as well. I'll let you do the honors.
In terms of thanking?
Yes.
Yeah, Father Ryan, obviously, I'm an alum 2018, and they've always been so gracious to me. Fred Strobel, one of the long-standing members here at Father Ryan, and John Sneed as well on the basketball staff, Tony McLeod, but also on the basketball staff. Ty over here, Belmont, didn't go to Father Ryan, but he's helped a lot as well. So thank you guys so much for letting us come out.
Absolutely. Thank you all.
Football players are out of here, but they got a game tonight. So I'm glad y'all have let us come out here. Stuart Magnus back there as well. I want to give him a shout out as well.
Stuart's in there on the
it doesn't look like he's watching the show, though. We need to get him to subscribe too.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. We'll go to our final break, and then I guess we'll probably need to alert Terry McCormick to jump in a couple of minutes early as we will get to our 3 o'clock programming. That includes Terry McCormick's Daily Titans Update. It will include a tale of the tape. It will include Coach Herm Edwards, and it will include 7 Plaster Bets of the Day. Stay tuned. Our show continues from Father Ryan High School. Do not go away.
Year number 2 of the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night was awesome. And the reason is really simple. I chose Strike and Spare, and they were amazing. They have great food, great bowling, and a staff that is truly ready to go the extra mile to help you. They have 5 family fun centers in the area to choose from. And for more info, go to strikeandspare.com or call them at 615-824-5685.
How am I going to get to work? My car's totaled.
Skylar, our team is making a call right now. We'll get you a rental car. Don't worry.
That's a relief.
Call us 24/7. We're here. We're going to help.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonleyTimmons.com.
I'm Watson Brown.
I'm Kelly Holcomb.
I'm Billy Derrick.
We're the George Plaster Show. We've been Nashville's best sports talk for the last 30 years. And you know what? We still are.
Catch us live weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m. Central Time in Nashville on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Also, the podcast version is available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Looking for more than just awards and trophies? Southern Trophy House is your one-stop solution. For over 60 years, their team has created lasting impressions with a personalized touch. From embroidery to screen-printed apparel to corporate awards, signs, and name badges, they have everything you need to keep your brand shining bright. With their knowledgeable customer service team, you can relax as they create, produce, pack, and ship merchandise and awards on time and on budget. That includes etched crystal awards, custom-cut acrylic, name badges, embroidered Richardson ball caps, banners, screen-printed T-shirts, laser-engraved Yeti cups, and knives. Recognize your hard-working team from Southern Trophy House, where they do their best to help you recognize your best. Located at 2705 Nolensville Pike in Nashville, give them a holler, 615-256-7295. Visit southerntrophy.com. Southern Trophy House, for all your personalization and recognition needs.
Okay, most of what we're going to do as we approach the 3 o'clock hour is now moved to what we would normally do on a Friday, and that will begin with our own discussion of the Titans and the LA Chargers. But before we get into tail of the tape kind of stuff, Billy, what you've got here are two teams that desperately need a win. Now, the last time the Titans got a victory, Nixon was in office. Don't put that up there yet. Let's hold on to that for a second. Last time the Titans won a game, Nixon was in office. It's not that bad. It's, an 8-game losing streak now going back to last year. The Chargers are also 0-1. They didn't play a lick of defense against a really good Miami. Here's the stat. There are only 3 teams I want to say, I don't know if modern era is right, but there are only 3 teams that have started a regular season 0-2 who have ended up in a Super Bowl. One of those was Emmitt Smith's Dallas Cowboys when he held out for more money. How about that?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So I think it's fair to say there's a little bit on the line in this one.
There is. And if you look back at last year for the Titans, that was a game that they could have won. You saw late in the game, Justin Herbert just stepped up. And the Titans didn't have that last year. They didn't have a quarterback that could make a play like he did to Mike Williams late in that game. And they don't have it this year either, unless Will Levis late in the season steps up. I don't really think Malik Willis is that type of quarterback. Maybe he is. I think Levis is more of a guy that can make a play like that late in the game. But Ryan Tannehill, Tannehill has to step up. That's the bottom line here. I think he will be better. He needs to be better for this Titans team to have success. But George, you look at the Titans right now. They could be staring down 0-2 if they go down to the Chargers.
So, look, I don't think there's any secret. Ryan Tannehill has been hearing the talk. Some of it's come from me. He looked old.
Yeah.
Last Sunday in the loss in New Orleans, I didn't think his mobility was what I remember it being at its best. He looked very uncertain, and for a guy that's 35 years old and has been in the league double-digit years, that's a little bit alarming. I'm not the only one saying it. he's hearing it. And so I look for him to be in sort of a, I'm going to prove all of you wrong on Sunday.
Yeah, and I think he can, George. I'm not saying he's going to be a world beater and look like Justin Herbert, but I mean, if you're Ryan Tannehill, you have to be a game manager. Do what you've done for the Titans the last few years. I thought he forced a lot of passes to Hopkins, especially where he just wanted it so bad. He's got Hopkins, he's got his guy, but I'm sure they've worked through a lot of that. But the Chargers aren't really the team you want to play when you want to get back on track. I mean, that offense, the Titans defense is fine. I'm not worried about the defense. I'm worried about the offense. Can they keep responding to the Chargers in their attacks on offense? Because they're going to score.
With really good reason. Now let's go to the tail of the tape. And this is just one person's opinion, and it happens to be mine. The Titans obviously are the home team, and they should have a pretty strong home field advantage. It's hard to believe that the Charger fans out of L.A. would bring a lot here, but you never know. Okay, big check mark for the Titans in the running game. Number one, the Chargers have not been all that great against the run, and this just in, Derrick Henry, who looked like he was put in the witness protection program a week ago, is still a Titan, and you can take to the bank they are going to run him until the game gets into a position where they can't run him. You're going to get a big dose of Derrick Henry. The passing game, it's not even close. The Chargers by a mile. Way better passing game, way better thrower in Justin Herbert. That part of it's not anywhere close. In fact, the running game is big to the Titans. The passing game is big to the Chargers. The one difference is the Chargers will use running back Austin Eckler out of the backfield a lot to catch the football, and he's really good at it.
And that's scary, I think. The Titans have a guy that they think can do that as well with Tajay Spears, but he's a rookie. So I think the margin for error is very small the whole season, but especially this is one of the games because of how prolific the Chargers are offensively. You need a guy like a Tajay Spears, and maybe he can do similar things that Eckler does and kind of negate that.
So let's take this a little farther in the tail of the tape. Defense, you give the check mark, and I think a very significant check mark to the Titans. This defense is starting to feel a lot like the one that took the field and sacked Joe Burrow 9 times in the playoffs, Mrs. Bueller. And that was one heck of a front four getting a lot of pressure. Well, this just in, they're going to need that kind of pressure Sunday because I'm not sure the Titans' corners can hold up to that.
No, they can't for 4 quarters. I mean, they'll have some good moments, but it's Justin Herbert. And, the weapons he has, I think did they get Quentin Johnston from TCU as well? So, yeah, Ty giving me the nod there. So, yeah, George, they've got young talent as well. Johnston is the guy to watch maybe as a potential X factor. The Titans cannot forget about him.
Let's go to the kicking game. I was very excited when they got Nick Folk because what I remember of him in New England was very accurate and capable of taking it out to about 58 yards. That's big stuff, and certainly a step up from Randy Bullock and a step up from whatever it was they were bringing to training camp that never had a shot. If Folk turns out to be what he was a week ago when he went 5 for 5, move that check mark way over to the left, and the Titans will have as good a kicking game as just about anybody in the league. Now to the intangibles. As I mentioned earlier, Ryan Tannehill has been hearing it everywhere he turns. He's hearing things like, he's a veteran. He should have been better than this against New Orleans. If he wasn't playing in the preseason and he was rusty, he should have told his team, I need some preparation time. And same thing with Mike Vrabel. He starts him against New England in the preseason, hands it off 3 times. Last time I checked, That wasn't Ryan Tannehill's issue. He can hand off. Anybody can hand off. I have no idea why he played against New England in the preseason if that's all they were going to have him do. Tannehill's been hearing it, and he's in particular been hearing he looks old, he looks slow. You know he's hearing it. You know there's a pride factor that wants to prove all of us who felt that way last Sunday dead wrong. That's a Titan intangible. And
Well, another, you might change your Chargers intangible after you hear this news. Running back Austin Eckler is doubtful for Sunday, according to Tom Pelissero. So that would be a massive break for the Titans if they could avoid facing Austin Eckler.
Boy, it would be. Whew. What you're seeing in this don't play anybody in preseason is that you're getting a lot of people hurt early in the year. The league's got to figure this out. On the intangible for the Chargers is the must win. They are a legit contender to go somewhere. With Justin Herbert, they can really make some great things happen. Are the Titans to that level? Not yet. Hope they get there. Not sure. I'm going Chargers 27-24, much as Vegas is. They've got LA as a 3-point favorite. Hope I'm wrong, but that's our tale of the tape. And now let's check in with Terry McCormick. His daily Titans update brought to you as always by Lori Burnett Leland. She wants to be your mortgage lady, and through the folks at USA Mortgage, that is absolutely possible. Give her a holler, 615-430, 969
There you go.
43. Here on the show. Let's start with Well, when you go on a live remote, most anything can happen. We apologize for a little bit of technical snafu, but I'm told that Terry McCormick is ready and raring to go. And even 4 minutes later, he's still sponsored by Lori Burnett Leland, who got a lot more
She
airtime
sure did.
than she ever bargained for. Terry, tell me what's going on with DeAndre Hopkins.
First, George, who is that back there rocking the old school Mariners hat from the Rupert Jones era?
That is Ty, our social media guy. He and I didn't even know it's Mariners, the throwback Mariners hat. You like it, Terry?
I do. That reminds me of like the early Mariners from the late 70s.
Ty said thank you.
At
All
least
right,
it's not
that's
the
awesome.
Seattle Pilots.
That is awesome. Tell you what, it's going to be interesting, George, because no DeAndre Hopkins this week in practice. It'll be interesting to see if he's going to be available on Sunday. Mike Vrabel did not rule him out, but he didn't say he was going to play either.
So, Terry, does this sound like sort of a game time deal where they work him out at 10:30 and try to figure it all out?
It does. It sounds exactly like that's what it is. And if I were going to guess, and I know DeAndre Hopkins said today to us that he can play without practicing, but you think about it, a new receiver on a new team, and he and Tannehill misfired a couple of times Sunday. I would think that unless he convinces them that he can go and he's healthy, I'd say I would bet against him playing this week against the Chargers, which is certainly a blow to the cause.
What about Amani Hooker?
Well, bad news in the secondary, George. Amani Hooker's been declared out, still in the concussion protocol, and Christian Fulton won't play either with that hamstring injury. So they're going to have to piece some things together back in that secondary. It's going to mean bigger roles for guys like Elijah Molden and Roger McCreary. And plus, guys like Trey Avery are going to see a lot of action too, I would assume.
Yeah, this does not sound good because this guy, Justin Herbert, is the real deal, and we all know it.
Yeah, if there's a silver lining, it sounds like that both Austin Eckler and Joey Bosa are very questionable for the Chargers. So that's going to be interesting.
Terry, don't you think ultimately that the league has got to figure some things out? I was listening to the Eagles radio broadcast last night driving home from an event, and this is going on all over the league where none of these players are playing much in preseason. They're not ready in week one. They're getting hurt, and the product isn't worth a damn.
Yeah, I think you're right, George. I think it's got to be a concern for the league, but it's this risk of the preseason. I think teams they've seen too many times where guys suffer an injury in the preseason and then they're lost for the entire year. You know, you don't want to lose your starting quarterback in a game that doesn't mean anything. But at the same time, you've got to figure out some way for these guys to get the work in that they need to get ready for the regular season. My solution to that, George, would be this. I would think that, and you can still cobble together enough good matchups to get the TV ratings right. But until these teams get crisp and can get things kicked into gear, and yes, you're going to have injuries regardless of this, but I would schedule a lot of interconference games, make everybody play interconference for week one, maybe even for week two. Don't put anybody in a situation where they're playing a division game, especially early in the season, because you may be putting a team behind the eight ball that doesn't have access to a good player or loses a good player early on.
Terry, I like where you're going with that. I'm going to nominate you to be the next commissioner, maybe not at $42 million a year, but
I could probably live off $35 million a year, George.
Yeah, we'll work on that. So tell me what, because I've started all this. I know you've got a couple of things that may be on your mind. Talk to us about it.
In terms of, go ahead.
In terms of whatever you may have prepared for what we were going to talk about.
Oh, in terms of just the Titans, or are you talking about?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I mean, to me, when the Titans, this is, you talked about, I heard you talk about in your intangibles that this is a must-win game. And yeah, that's true. It's a must-win game for the Chargers. it's also a must-win game for the Titans, George. This team's lost 8 games in a row. They've not won since November 17th at Green Bay last year. This is a team that, this is the longest losing streak they've had since Ken Wisenhunt was the coach in 2014, and they lost the last 10 games of the year. So this is a team that needs to find a way to win because, Jacksonville's not going anywhere in this division, and if they're going to have any hope at all of making a run in this thing, they've got to get the ship righted quickly, and it starts really with the offense has to be better. During this 8-game losing streak, George, guess how many points a game they have averaged?
18.
Lower.
Oh, no.
Wow.
How much?
I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a hint. It's exactly how many of these points they scored against the Saints.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Is it really?
15. Only once have they crossed 20 points in this losing streak.
Oh, wow. And most of this has been without Ryan Tannehill. Wow.
Terry, my biggest thing on this is there's no sense of urgency. I mean, is anything going to change? Like, I know they've changed things offensively in the offseason, but after one game, it's almost like, you feel like it's similar or even, I don't want to say worse, but I don't know. I just didn't see enough difference from last year's offense.
I don't disagree. And some of that maybe you can chalk up to week 1 issues. The other thing is this. Why not hand the ball to Derrick Henry 25 times like you used to when you won games? That seemed to work pretty well. Now, granted, you've got to have some sort of the pass to go with it. You can't just run him right into the middle of the line and not expect teams to key on that. But to me, this offense still needs to revolve around Henry and the running game and then use play action off of that. And then use your quick throws and the things that you're trying to do to protect Ryan Tannehill to keep him from getting hurt behind an inexperienced offensive line. Mix those sorts of things in. Go no huddle to wear out a defense. Do some creative things beyond just, short passes or things like that. You got to pull out all the tricks, in my opinion. Mix a little of this, mix a little of that, because the schedule's not going to get a whole lot easier over the next 3 to 4 weeks.
No, the bottom line is they're in as close to a must win if this season's going to amount to anything as you can get. The past history of 0-2 teams coming back and really living to tell about it is not very good.
No, it's really not. And, they're fortunate that they're in a division where there's only one other team that, is a contender, and that's the Jacksonville Jaguars. If they go out and they win this week, the Jaguars could lose at home to the Chiefs. I'm sure the Chiefs don't want to go 0-2. So that would put them right back in a tie for first in the division. You'd feel a little bit better, and you'd also have a conference win under your belt. But to me, there's a lot riding on this game for something so early in the year and a Titans team that's already starting to be depleted by injuries.
Terry, appreciate it as always. We'll do this again on Monday. Same place, but not necessarily the same time.
Exactly.
Talk to you. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Terry McCormick's Daily Titans Update brought to you by Lori Burnett Leland. She wants to be your mortgage lady, and through the folks at USA Mortgage, that is entirely possible. Dial her up at 615-969-4350. Okay, we're scrambling around. It doesn't look like Coach Herm Edwards is ready and raring to go. So guess what we're going to do?
Oh, the bets of the weekend. But right as I say that, Coach Herm Edwards does look ready to roll. So it looks like we've got Coach Edwards on with us, George.
Well, then let's go ahead and bring him up. Herm, how are you?
I am well. We're in football season, and all the varsity players play now. They don't no longer get to wear their baseball hats and stand on the sideline and act like they're coaches. And you want,
I love the way you start this.
And you know what? And here's the sad part. Here's really the sad part. And I've said this. And you wonder why games are so sloppy the first 3 weeks of the season, because the guys don't play in the preseason, and that's a problem. There's sloppiness all through the league. You know, I get it, man. I get it. You're trying to protect the players. Aaron Rodgers goes down, by the way, in the fourth play of the game, which was terrible.
And we're going to get
football
to that.
players. You play football. That's what you do. You play football. And somewhere along the line, you have to get ready to play football. That's just
so. Herm, let me try it this way. If I made you commissioner, and by the way, I don't think that'd be a half bad idea because I think you are a common sense guy. What would you do with preseason? How would you get players to play and coaches to how do we make this work?
Well, I think what they're going to do, basically, the owners are eventually going to eliminate this and try to get 18 games, right? And just have one preseason game and let's get on with it. Let's just have 18. Because these guys,
that's the right answer?
Well, it's always about how much money can you make on television, and television runs everything now. And I think eventually it'll try to get there. Look, I remember when it was, like I said, it was when I came to the league, it was 6 preseason games, 14 regular. And I started every preseason game in my career. Every preseason game I started as well.
Yeah.
It didn't look like I didn't want to play. I was going to play. And I understand you're trying to protect the players, especially some of the older guys. I get some of that. But when you talk about the way the game is being played right now and the sloppiness on offense with the ball, there's a lot of balls on the ground. And guys are fatigued. The midway of the third quarter, these guys realize, you know what? I've already played 45 plays. This is more than I played the whole preseason. And now you're planning to play in a game, a real game that counts. It's hard. It's just hard.
So, Herm, let's go where you were headed a minute ago before I stopped you. As a former coach of the Jets, and whether you were or not, you had to have a sick feeling Monday night when you saw Aaron Rodgers go down 4 plays into it.
Look, I lost Chad Pennington in the last preseason game against the Giants. Also for the whole year. I know what it means. It's a crushing blow in this sense. This team was really excited about this season. And the fact you get Aaron Rodgers, people are talking about you being a playoff team, maybe winning the division, maybe even going to the Super Bowl, and within 4 plays. And even the fan base, if you're not a Jet fan, but I just think if you're just a fan of football, to see this unfold where Aaron Rodgers is basically trying to do what Tom Brady did and Matt Stafford, go to different teams and take them to the Super Bowl. And after 4 plays, he's done.
So now we're back to the Josh Wilson era.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Zach Wilson. What?
Zach.
I'm going to get to Josh Allen in a minute.
Oh, boy.
Josh is on the mind. But Herm, are they good enough to still be able to get a playoff berth with this young guy?
Well, I say this. Think about what Brock Purdy did with San Francisco when he came in, right? And had no experience, but just kind of ran the offense, protected the ball, got it to his weapons, and lo and behold, they get to the game where he gets hurt in Philadelphia, and so they played defense, they played good special teams, they ran the football. This is what they did. And that's the formula. And that's what I would be telling Zach Wilson. Hey, look, you don't have to try to win games for us. Just don't lose games. And Nathaniel Hackett has to realize I don't have Aaron Rodgers. I got Zach Wilson, and he's played. And he, and I think what I saw, a more mature Zach Wilson when he went in front of the media. And the players right now feel okay with him. He had to win that team back. I think Aaron Rodgers helped him do that when Aaron Rodgers took over, and Aaron Rodgers put him under his wing and said, this is how you got to do it. So I think going forward, they'll be fine. It's just they don't have that ace in the hole of, hey, I got a Hall of Fame quarterback playing quarterback.
As we know, Josh Allen had one of his worst moments Monday night, kept throwing into double coverage, kind of kept trying to be Rambo. And now it feels like the whole thing's at a crossroads where this notion that he can do it all himself has got to stop. As a head coach, how would you have dealt with him this week after the Jets loss?
Well, I think, the thing you love about Josh Allen, he went right before the media and says, hey, look, this is on me.
Yeah.
I lost this game for our football team because of how I played. Is he careless with the ball? I don't know if it's careless as so much just he tries to do things sometimes where, you know what, you ain't got to do that. 84 turnovers thus far in his career. 84. And when you play in games, you know this, and every quarterback knows this. Look, if I turn the ball over, I'm giving this team a lot of times a short field. I'm taking our offense out of scoring position, and I'm making it hard on the defense. And any quarterback knows that. Does he do it intentionally? No. They've lived with the fact that he might turn it over twice, but guess what? The defense will get it back for him. He'll make 3 great throws and win a game for us, and we can live that way. But that loss to the Jets hurt, and I think hopefully it got his attention because basically Zach Wilson beat him because he turned the ball over. And you can't play like that, and he knows that. I think going forward, will he be more cautious? I don't know that, but I just think he has to be aware of, you know what? I got to be more protective of this ball. I don't have to make every play. I worry about this more than that, him running. I mean, he's going to get hurt.
Oh, absolutely.
I saw him on the one play. It wasn't even goal line. It was like in the middle of the field on the 40. He jumps up in the air. And I'm like, man, you can't do that. You're the franchise quarterback. You got to protect yourself.
Yeah, Coach, why would in your mind, put yourself in his mind, why would that be something he does?
He's just built that way. He's every bit of 6'4", 250 pounds. And he's running with the, he reminds me a little bit. And yeah. And some of the folks are young folks listening. Elway.
Early on,
you would know.
Great comparison.
John Elway, right?
Because early on, he wanted to take on all comers. And Herm, we had one here in Jake Walker who had sort of that kamikaze pilot kind of attitude. Yep. And you saw where it got him.
You can't do it. You just can't. Not at the quarterback position. So be interesting this week.
So Sunday night, those of us who saw the Cowboys came away going, holy, you know what?
How about them Cowboys?
Herm, are they really that good?
They're good. Yeah, they're good. And they've been good, though. This defense has really been good. It just happened to be one of those nights where I just tell you what, they just, you could tell the speed of their defense was just so fast. The Giants had no answer. They just had no answer, no matter what they did. And their offense particularly didn't play very well. I mean, played okay, Dallas's offense, right? But that was a dominant performance. There was a couple of them. Dallas, San Francisco going into Pittsburgh.
Gosh. Yes.
I didn't see that one coming, guys. I'm going to be quite honest. I mean, I thought, whoa, you going, to do that to the Steelers? Really? Like, yeah, it's interesting, right? I mean, you saw a couple of them where you scratch your head, you go, ooh, and maybe but see, as I say, defense is ahead of offenses right now, except for the Miami Dolphins and the Chargers.
Right.
That was who could go up to 50 the fastest, right? That was almost 1,000 yards of offense.
That was track meet.
Oh, my word. And by the way, them Tennessee boys got to deal with them Chargers.
So, Herm, I can't believe I'm asking this question, but I can't wait to hear your answer. How close is Micah Parsons to the great Lawrence Taylor?
Watch it now. I was at, flash wise, wreck the game wise, all those are similar. I was just with Lawrence about a month ago. We were in a golf tournament. And physically, Lawrence Taylor was probably more physical. Not saying Parsons is not, but he wasn't. When you look at Lawrence Taylor, you go, oh boy. He wrecked the game. But not only he wrecked the game by knocking the quarterback down and making great plays, but his physical presence is different than Parsons. Now, Parsons does everything. I mean, I'm not saying he's not physical, so I'm not going to put him up there with Lawrence Taylor yet, because Lawrence Taylor was my era. I seen it with my own eyes. I watched it. We played against him twice every year, and that was the only time the defensive players in the Eagles, and we had pretty good defense too now.
Oh.
You'd actually stand up and watch. You'd watch him and watch 56. And they're playing against us, and we're going, he can't block. We can't block him. We can't block him. And poor Jaws is running for his life. And I'm going, man, I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be the quarterback this week. Boy, no fun.
Okay, I've got a weird one to close this out.
Sure.
So Baker Mayfield, after playing really well in Minneapolis in week 1, came out and said that he knew he had Minnesota's signals by halftime. First of all, do you believe that? And secondly, did you ever have a teammate who was really good at that?
Yeah, and there's ways you go about trying to do that. I won't get into all that, but I was an old scout, and there's a reason you have let's just say you're going to play the Titans. The week before, the pro personnel guy, he goes watch the Titans. I did this. I mean, I used to do this when I got into coaching. I was a scout first, and I was taught by good guys. And you go to the game, and the first thing you go to the game is when you're watching the opponent you're about to play next week. You watch the rotation of offense, defensive players. You try to watch the signal caller on the sideline on what he might be calling, if it's hand signals or whatever, right? And you kind of match that up. And then when you get back to the film and say, hey, man, the dude touched his hat, what did that mean? And on this play in the film, they brought pressure, So you try to pick up some things, right? You try to pick up some audibles if you can hear it in the box. They're audible. Oh, they went green. What is green? So you have an idea, but look, they change it too. But there are certain things you can see, right? Certain things you can see. You try to pick it all up.
Yeah. Were you good at it?
Yeah, I was pretty good.
I bet you were.
Guy, just watching. You watch the play call, and this is why sometimes you can have two guys signaling it. Some guys don't signal at all; they go on the wristband, right? Because there was a lot going on in the era when I got out of football and in football when I was playing. That was part of it. Like baseball, they're always trying to steal signals. Football.
Oh, sure.
And it's just part of it. You can't film it, but this is why you send the scouts ahead. And the week before you play, they're on the road, and you're watching the team you're about to play next week, and you're gathering as much information, how they rotate, who went in the game. Maybe there was an injury in the fourth quarter. All these things, you're writing all this stuff down. So when you go back into the building, you say, "Hey, this is what I saw." And in this situation, this is what they did. Because sometimes the film doesn't show it all. You're there to see personnel. You're there to see, how the coach is calling the game, and why he called it. And all those things, that's what you're doing when you're sitting up there trying to get information.
Yeah. Were you in Bristol last Sunday?
I'm in Bristol every week. I leave tonight. Yeah.
Okay.
I leave tonight. And basically, I'm there Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Then I come back home. So
Tell us what it's like on Sunday as all those games are going on. Is it like a sports bar?
Well, it's unique. It's probably 15 televisions in there. So I'm sitting with Berman. I always sit with Chris. And we're watching the games, and he's going, and he's giving me all the Chris Berman sayings, right? And we're sitting there, and we're taking notes on figuring out what we're going to do that night and the next day, because we have our show, Booger and myself have that show, the Monday Blitz now. Every Monday it comes on at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Yep.
New show with me and Booger and Michael Eaves is the host. It's a fun show. So you're gathering information, looking at all the games, and then you got to come on television and act like you know what you're talking about. I tell you what, the most fun is in the room when you're watching all these games with everybody, right? Because everybody's a coach. And when something happens bad, they turn around and look at me, Coach, what do you think? I just don't start. Just don't ask me. I don't ask me that question.
Coach, when the cameras come on, can it be hard to because George and I we hang out outside the show,
right?
And is it hard for you maybe sometimes to the camera's on, you can't act like necessarily, you can't say everything you would say, just hanging out.
Well, no, you choose your words. Words are powerful. How you use them. Sometimes you leave them open end and people can just kind of go, oh. That's the ones when they say, what did he say? Well, he kind of said, hey, you know what? You guys, one thing you didn't ask about is my boy Prime. How good is he doing right now?
That, Coach?
Oh, my goodness.
Fun to watch, isn't it?
Here's the part I cannot figure.
Sure.
Herm, look, there's no doubt this guy is a great motivator of 18 to 22-year-olds.
Yep.
But the ability to take about 80 kids that have not played with each other for very long and mold them that quickly, somewhere that's got to be him.
Well, it is, and his belief and how he visits with the kids, and he's got a great heart. He really does. I've known him a long time. And all that bravado, he takes it on and really takes a lot of pressure off the team, to be quite honest.
Well, and he was such a good player, Coach, too. Played baseball.
Oh, my God.
A lot of times, the better the player, not every great player becomes a coach, but, the better the player, the better the coach sometimes. I mean, you see
he's done a fantastic job. I mean, it's just fun. He has, beside his son, the one kid,
Hunter.
Hunter, I said it on television last week. If he keeps doing what he's doing, if his name ain't on considered as a Heisman candidate, who does that? Who can play 150 plays in a football game?
Nobody.
He's done it twice.
It's amazing.
It's unbelievable. It's like I sit there and watch it and go, who does that? Nobody. I think the last guy to do that, and you guys are too old. I'm too old. I didn't see it, but I know history of him, was Jim Thorpe. Right?
It's a quarterback award, though.
Well, you're right.
I know. I know he can't win it.
Not around for that.
But I'm saying it is a quarterback award, but this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch. I mean, this is wow. Look at this.
I hope he can stay healthy.
Yeah, I do too. I worry about it. I worry about it. He's already played 300 snaps in 2 games.
Yeah. Maybe this week is a game. Colorado, they might give him a little bit of a rest.
Yeah.
But man, that's a fun team to watch.
It really is.
Herm, safe travels. Thank you so much for doing this. By the way, you'd make a damn good commissioner.
Well, that's we'll talk about that later.
See you soon.
Thanks,
all right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
That is the great Herm Edwards joining us here on the show. After the break, Plaster bets of the day. Am I a little cocky? Oh, yeah. There's 7 of them this week. You'll find out what they are next.
Forget the fact that Sir Speedy Music City is owned by my BGA classmate James Warren. Their work stands on its own merit. James and his staff do incredible work, as evidenced by the huge banners at the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. If you're looking for quality to help your marketing and business communications, and you want it at a reasonable price, these are your folks. Call them at 615-832-9511 or go to print at sirspeedymusiccity.com. And be sure to tell them Plaz sent you.
Family owned and operated for more than 2 decades, Alaco Fine Wood Floors is Nashville and Middle Tennessee's choice for premium quality hardwood floors. Since 1995, Jimmy Alaco and his army of employees have embodied the approach of taking pride in one's craft and providing superior customer service. growing from a one-man shop to a team of 23 professionals who share the founder's passion for quality craftsmanship and customer satisfaction. If you are interested in contacting them, you can find their headquarters at 2505 Winford Avenue in Berry Hill, or give them a call at 615-356-0303. Again, that's 615-356-0303, or log on to alacofinewoodfloors.com. Alaco Fine Wood Floors, serving Middle Tennessee's hardwood flooring needs since 1995.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between. Discover what Hit City has to offer. Single game tickets are on sale now.
You know, starting to save for your future doesn't have to be difficult. Let Wilson Bank and Trust help tone up your financial goals this year. Our certificates of deposits or CDs can help your money work harder with our competitive rates, earning you more than ever before. WBT checking options allow you to earn rewards you can really use, like a high interest rate or cash back on check card purchases when you meet some e-banking qualifications. Visit your closest Wilson Bank and Trust office or online at wilsonbank.com to get started today. Member FDIC.
Final segment on a Friday, a football Friday, live from Father Ryan High School on Norwood Drive in beautiful Berry Hill. A lot of work going on in this area, especially if you take a ride out of Father Ryan. You'll see a lot of new developments and such, but we are here for tonight's Father Ryan NBA matchup, one of the bigger rivalries in the Mid-State. Before we close it out, though, we're going to get to Plaster's Bets of the Weekend. It's brought to you by Bart Durham Injury Law, best in the business. George, log on to bartdurham.com for more information. We start checking out George's record, 41-21.
Pretty good.
3-2 week this week. The Jets, Braves, and Navy. Somehow that Navy over Memphis bet won last night.
Ye of little faith.
Memphis is not a lot to write home about.
They're not
because
all
that
that
Navy
good defensively.
That Navy team is bad. So I was surprised to see that. But not surprised to see this many bets for George this weekend. My goodness. I mean.
Okay, so let's tell people where we're going.
Let's do.
We're taking UConn minus 6.5 against Mike McIntyre's FIU team.
You're going against your buddy Mike.
I am. The game's at UConn, and under Jim Mora Jr., they have gotten to be a very solid program. I think not only do they win this game, but they win it by more than 7. Same thing with Tennessee tomorrow. Tennessee is just simply better, and for them not to beat that spread will probably mean that Joe Milton didn't really get it done, had a lot of the same problems he had against Austin Peay. Only time will tell, but I think Tennessee comes away from Gainesville with a huge win. Same story with Vandy. They have not been all that impressive this year. It is time to put up or shut up because this is the game that ultimately will decide, do they have a chance to get to 6 wins in a bowl or do they not? A loss and the answer is probably no. A win and the answer is maybe they do. I think they cover. I don't think Vegas is all that good. I'm going with Vandy.
I like this last one here. Trent Dilfer, former Lipscomb coach. He's done a good job so far with the Blazers.
Yeah, it has not necessarily shown up in the win column, but minus 2.5 at home against what I guess now is called Louisiana, but in the old days was UL Lafayette. I'm going UAB to win and to cover.
That's the college slate.
Yeah. Now to the pros. The Lions are rock solid under Dan Campbell. Seattle, horrible pass defense a week ago in the loss at home to the Rams. If the Lions are on their A game or anywhere close, they will cover that number. Tampa Bay, I don't know what to think, but here's what I do know. They were pretty good last Sunday in Minneapolis. And if they're anywhere near that good Sunday, in other words, if Baker Mayfield is that good, they'll beat Chicago and they will cover that spread.
Bears looked awful last week.
They did. And the last game is the Sunday night game. I'm starting to buy into Miami. They score a lot of points. If they play some defense, They're going to be dangerous. New England, I don't know what to think.
Mac attack.
Mac Jones was better under Bill O'Brien. Is it good enough? I don't think so. So I've got 7 of them. UConn, University of Tennessee, Vandy, UAB. Those are the college picks. On the pro level, the Lions, Tampa Bay, and Miami. Okay, we're done. Want to thank Father Ryan High School for the amazing hospitality. They try to snap tonight a 26-year losing streak against an NBA team that is 0-4 and kind of reeling. We'll see what happens. Do they knock down their Berlin Wall? Billy Derrick hopes so. I'm a neutral observer.
George, it'll be fun. It's similar to the Iron Bowl, Ohio State, Michigan. Now with the streak, it's it's a little uneven the last 26 years. But anytime these two teams get together, throw out the records, it's going to be fun tonight.
When we come back on Monday, the first thing we'll do is give you Watson Brown and Kelly Holcomb's Titans analysis, hopefully after a victory against the Chargers, but who knows? Either way, it'll make for some interesting talk. All of you have a great weekend. If you get a chance tonight, go to a high school football game because it's just 3 or 4 years from now, these will be the college stars of your future. So long, everybody.